The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour as I try to figure out what happened over the week that I've been gone. And trying to figure out how you share a screen. It's got a plus 32. I don't know what you do. Invite people, do something. It just says voice channels. Ah, there it is. I clicked on it and it didn't do much. So I'm in the voice channels. Okay. I've clicked on the Tiger TV. Okay. And okay, I've clicked. You do not have permission to speak in this channel. That's what it says, which is what I thought. Voice connected. I have clicked on Tiger TV. Is it doing anything now? Share your screen. Okay. And there we go. Okay. And you go back and you set a bunch of different stuff up. And eventually, you get it set back correctly. I don't know why all the stuff disappeared, but it did. And again, another wonderful week here. And it doesn't matter where you're at, as long as you're here at the appointed time. And I am here. I just bet. No, that should have been in there. Just sounded wimpy today. I'm not exactly sure why. We'll turn that up. Anyway, another excellent week. So what do we have going on? S&P's basically flat. We're up 1 point. NASDAQ's up 41.40. I'm continued. Well, a week ago Friday, I made fun. Or maybe a week ago Thursday, I made fun of a bunch of people that tell me that the end of the world is coming, that we were going to be at 3,600 a week ago on the S&P cash, and soon we'll be at 666. Dogs will be living with cats, real wrath of God stuff. And it seems, at least as one person who tells me that the end is nigh. I kind of remember being in New York City, and they always have some guy that would stand down there in Times Square with a sign that the end is nigh, it's going to happen tomorrow. And, you'd see him next week. Still had the same sign. It's going to be gone. Going to be it. I don't think that they came to make money. I think they came to proselytize. I think that's a word. As we said at the very beginning of a bear market back around Christmas, the biggest problem with people, or a lot of people, that have been in, no sound effects, huh? It sounded weird. I'm not exactly sure why, but we'll figure it out here soon enough. Anyway, the truth of the matter is the market, even a bear market, is going up 3/4 of the time. It just goes up a whole lot less and then down a whole lot more when it does. But even in a bull market, it's going down about 1/4 of the time, maybe 1/3 of the time. It's just that it goes down a whole lot less than it goes up. So it's all about, at least to me, the 2 steps forward and 1 step back, or 2 steps back and 1 step forward. And I think that a lot of people, they're just sure that the end of the world's coming. But at the same time, I think they're going to be broke by the time that the market does decide to go lower, if they're going to think that they can constantly short by telling everybody the end is nigh, make the market go lower. I'm not exactly sure what the idea behind that is. I can be bearish, but know that probably the time to be bearish is only about a third or maybe a fourth of the time. But it is interesting. What I really worry about is when those folks start getting bullish. That's generally when the market's ready to turn. They've given half their money back for some unknown reason, and then they're actually starting to get it. I got that. Okay. Just everything was weird today. Didn't look like it. Everything looked great before I rebooted my machine today, but then everything acted a little weird today. But we'll get all the stones and pebbles out of the way here, but not much going on. Anyway, we had some long positions in the daily newsletter. I did sell them on Friday mostly because you've got kind of a problem, and that problem is that after a 3-day weekend in the summers, you tend to have a lot of change in either character or direction. If I wasn't in a stock that I thought could beat a down market, then I had to sell it. I actually have one that I think is going to continue to beat a down market that we got into in the Tech Insider. So I'm basically sitting my hands on that. But, there's a lot of thought that the market's just going to go higher, go lower. And one of the things I think it can do is go sideways. A lot of people have given up on that third option. But a lot of what I see out here says that we certainly have that option. Now, NASDAQ, 4 stocks, 5 stocks, 6 stocks, it's going to drive that index. But in reality, it's not an index. It's 6 stocks. And you're trying to figure out what 6 stocks are going to do. The S&P 500, actually a real index. And when I talk about broad markets, I'm really talking about the New York Stock Exchange composite or the S&P 500 or something that there's more than 350 stocks. Russell 2000 is kind of a good indication too. Why they may be smaller, there's enough of them that not just a handful of stocks is going to move it around much. But we continue to see a market, at least for me, that looked rather tight. And that is, I don't think there's going to be a lot of wind at our backs. But we have a few things going for us today. It's the last day of the month. They tend, in the past, to mark things up. Of course, over the last 3 or 4 months, it's been a lot of selling into fund buying season. But this may be one of the first ones where we see maybe a wash or maybe even a little bit net gains into fund buying, and that the people that were going to sell pretty much had sold. If you weren't going to sell down at 38.50 on the S&P cash, are you selling today? Now, maybe you bought there and you're selling today. But if you owned it at 4,500, it went to 38.50, now it's 4,100. Are you really selling today? Probably not. We'll be back in a minute.
In a time of booming inflation, where your purchasing power is eroded, there's no better place to protect your hard-earned money than in gold. Vista Gold's flagship asset is the Mount Todd Gold Project in the Northern Territory of Australia. This is Australia's largest undeveloped gold project. We are talking a world-class gold project in a Tier 1 mining district. This is a large-scale, low-cost project with significant existing infrastructure in a politically safe and friendly mining jurisdiction. Vista Gold just completed the Mount Todd feasibility study, which resulted in a 7 million ounce gold reserve in a 16-year mine life. All of this, combined with the approvals of all major operational as well as environmental permits. This distinguishes Mount Todd as an attractive, de-risk partner, ready development stage gold project. Vista Gold trades on the New York Stock Exchange under the symbol VGZ.
Are you grinding in the market, but seeing little to no return? Or are you a successful trader, simply looking to make your job a little easier? Learn to take the path of least resistance with David White's powerful trading newsletter. David White is an accomplished trader whose deep understanding of technology and the markets allows him to consistently find and share winning trades. Support and resistance define the ranges in which stocks trade. By understanding these trading ranges, David White is able to find the path of least resistance. David White's trading newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, is delivered daily before the markets open to make every trading day an easy win. Visit TFNN.com today and subscribe to David White's Ultimate Trading Newsletter for $119 a month. And try all of our newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Take the path of least resistance at TFNN, educating investors. Are you looking for a way to consistently add winning trades to your portfolio? Tom O'Brien is here to help. Tom O'Brien has been successfully trading markets for over 30 years. A frequent contributor to TD Ameritrade Network and CNBC, Tom O'Brien founded TFNN over 20 years ago to help educate investors just like you. Tom's daily market newsletter, Market Insights, is published every morning when the markets open to give you the competitive informational edge you need to succeed. These newsletters are packed full of Tom's advanced technical analysis and are geared to deliver comprehensive strategies for a successful portfolio. Get Tom O'Brien's newsletter, Market Insights, today and try all of our products and newsletters 30 days risk-free with our money-back guarantee at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
As we return, as I said before, last day of the month, a little bit of markup for fund buying. Is that already in? It really kind of looks to me like we could see a week of a lot of sideways action. The upside from here is kind of a little bit limited. We've got some other things going on, but the volume really didn't increase. We had a light volume up, but it wasn't light enough to see that we were going to crack today. Going into Friday's close. So we've got a market that just seems to, I'm going to say, it's going to be very tough for me to put a trade on this week, long or short. We're going to have something radically change. As I said, I took 2 long positions last week. We sold them on Friday. We bought Microsoft's at the week lows a week ago Friday, along with CCJ. So I don't know, what do we make? 10% or something on both of them, a little more. It wasn't a trade of the century or anything, but it was some nice money in some trades that you could sit on your hands. I've got, like I said, one more position I like. It's maybe 75% or 75 cents from making a sign, so I'll know whether or not when it gets there, whether or not to sell it or not. That's in the Tech Insider, but for the most part, I'm not real pumped to either be long or short this week so far. As I said before, you come in these 3-day weekends, it's not uncommon to either change the character or direction. I'm not seeing direction here today so much as maybe a changed character. And that may be just watch the UVXY just sit here and decay. My guess is that we're probably staring at a reverse split once again in it. I'll have to look at that later today after the show. But just not that much going on. So, sometimes it's better just to go fishing. I don't know if that's true quite yet. But I think maybe there is some avenue for us making money. But I don't think it's the avenue that everybody's thinking I'm going to talk about today. but it might be. 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. First question of the day comes about Apple and how high can it go this week. And who is that? Okay. Tara, I'm buying 150 call options. Okay, where's that at? Okay, there that is. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at Apple real quick. And then we'll look at SLB. Well, you don't have a lot of volume today. You did make it through the gap down. That gap down was on the 18th of May and did with 109 million shares. You went through that with 91 million shares on Friday, so there wasn't a lot of energy. You're up here. The big problem I see is most of these options are just pointing to sideways this week. So, again, I don't have a lot of edge one way or the other on options. And for the most part, I can imagine the premiums may just melt out this week without some kind of surprise. I don't know if we're going to have any surprises this week. They may just hold it up. It may just go sideways during fund buying, and then maybe we see some kind of pullback maybe at the end of the week. But we shall see. I don't see anything here that gives me any signals or gives me a lot of heads up to say that we should be doing anything. Yeah, we'll look at that too, Duncan Steve. But anyway, on Apple, you've gone through it. You got kind of light volume today. I'm not a big fan of buying calls just yet. I think we could see a lot of sideways action. So best I see is maybe sideways in Apple right now. Maybe it goes higher, maybe it goes lower. I just don't see a lot of abiding evidence that you get either. Okay, let's see what else. We were going to look at SLB for somebody above. Let me scroll back up here. Okay, Jimmy says, where's the resistance and support? Well, you went through the high. You needed 41 million shares. On Friday, you got 14 million shares. So that's the big problem there with Schlumberger. And that is that you did bust the previous high. You did so on 1/4 of the volume. Today, you're down on about the volume you had up on Friday. By the end of the day, you're going to have it. Looks to me like that kind of shows a high watermark, at least in the short term, for Schlumberger. I like energy overall, but more about the price of crude than the people out there going after it. With a lot of people talking last week, I think I wrote about it in the Path of Least Resistance this morning, and that was, what's the guy's name? Now I'm going to have to get it or it will drive me nuts, just like everything here. If it, okay, yeah, that's what it was. Who was the guy? Kyle Bass. So Kyle Bass has been doing a lot of polling and everything else, and he's come up with a theory. I don't know how you test it, but certainly he's done a lot of polling data, he said last week. I think this was on Wednesday that I read the article. And he thinks that at least one political party will fold on more pumping, more drill, baby, drill. I am not so sanguine on that. And so I think that you could see a lot of the folks like Schlumberger that are in the exploration and development continue to have problems, why the crude itself continues to go much higher. I don't think we're going to see much movement in there, although a lot of them are starting to look at the polling data and thinking that maybe they need to change their idea on that. Okay, so that was Schlumberger. Let's take a quick look at AMD. AMD continues to be the most hated stock in the market with massive shorting. Doesn't mean that everybody goes home every day short, but it does mean that they are shorting intraday on this. But you're, like a lot of this stuff, you're back up at these highs. You really wanted to see something in the neighborhood of 100, maybe 150 million shares. You had 104 million on Friday. Today you got about 85. So I think we're kind of close on a lot of these stocks to them topping out. But at the same time, with fund buying, could they just hover around these levels through the rest of the week? I think that there's a good chance you could. If I was doing anything for the next 5 days, I'd probably be selling spreads till Thursday. Maybe we get some movement on Friday. But so far, looking at a lot of charts yesterday and today, I don't see any real good setups with a lot of good risk reward quite yet. We'll be back in a minute.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
TFNN has just launched their new trading room, the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. And now they are expanding their reach with the Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. In the Tiger's Den, you can look over the shoulders of Tom O'Brien and the other TFNN hosts while they analyze charts during their live Tiger TV programs, and join an interactive trading community with hundreds of members exchanging ideas. Interact with other tigers and tigresses as they share trading ideas, news analysis, and discuss the market action all trading day, even at night and on the weekends. The Tiger's Den at Discord is accessible on mobile or tablets as well, so it's always at your reach. To sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders, just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien has just announced a live Timing the Trade webinar Friday, June 10th from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Join Tom O'Brien for 5 hours of live education as he teaches you his trading methodology right from his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System. In this live webinar, Tom O'Brien will be teaching you his entire trading system, including quality volume, ABC structures, Fibonacci confluence zones, cause and effect, swing points, and more. We will be limiting this class to 40 attendees, so please do not delay and reserve your seat today for this special live event with Tom O'Brien. All attendees will also receive a physical copy of his book, The Art of Timing the Trade, an $88 value, mailed to you, along with a free month of his daily newsletter, Market Insights, a $169 value. For all the details and to reserve your seat today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
As we return, question about, I take it Noro. Gapped higher today. There's not a whole lot of volume. And this thing pops around a lot. Certainly looks like an ADR to me. Must be a foreign registry on that. So let's go ahead and check that out. See if my guess is correct. See where they're out of here. Let's go take a quick look. Come on. There you go. Okay. Yeah, Denmark. So, it's amazing after you look at charts for so long, you start getting kind of a feel for the way these things look. and you can almost instantly tell they're from somewhere else. Diabetes, obesity care segment on this. You have a nice bounce. Without doing a lot of work out here, I don't see a great deal other than maybe this is a 50% bounce to the upside. I did send out also for the path of least resistance this morning a list of the most highly shorted stocks. Kava was one of those. It just barely made the list. I start with 5 days to cover. So it got to $37. There were a lot of rumors swirling around on this when it bounced somewhere around late lunch hour. It got as high as 36.67. Is that it? No, it got to 37. But now down $31 or so. Still a great deal higher. It's up 16%, but it was up 25%. A lot of these stocks, especially when markets are very slow and quiet, as I said, you may want to start thinking about looking at stocks. And if you're thinking about a lot of movement in a quiet market, short sellers are kind of a great place to go for that. So what I'm going to do today is go through some of the other ones in my list, not all of them. But we'll see if there's anything out here that says, squeeze me. What is that song, Squeeze Box? Anyway, Iron Mountain, which of course is a company that buys old used mines and ends up using those mines to store computer data and files, which is probably not a bad use for them. Of course, you have to put a humidifier in them, but that's about it. Pretty easy to do. This has been one that has been perpetually highly shorted. Now, what did you have on this one? Not a good sign on Friday. 3 million shares on May 5th at 54.88. You got to that and with about a dime over on Friday, but you only had 1.65 million shares, so a little more than half. Today, you've got kind of sideways action. Energy is about the same on the way up and the way down. But when you have a lot of shorts, which in case this one does, that may be enough. So you want to keep a close eye on this one for movement intraday. What is that? Okay, where is it? Come on. Okay. Anyway, 7% short, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's got 12 days to cover against the shares in the open float. And that's really what you want to look at. I'm talking about days to cover. And that means if you just took the average volume for the last 30 or 60 days and thought just how long would it take shorts to get out of it if only the shorts decided to cover and the price wasn't going up, they're just going to buy at whatever the market price is on the day, and they're not going to do a whole lot. The longs aren't going to add any shares and not going to sell any. Just whoever's normally selling, they're going to buy, and that's it. How long? It would take 12 and a half days for Iron Mountain to get the shorts out of it for the open float. Of course, there's the float, and then there's the open float. And what we're interested in is shares that actually can trade. And so you may have a lot of shares, but when it comes to short squeezes, it's all about the days to cover. And 12 days on it are a big deal. So other ones out here. I don't know if we bring this one up much anymore. GNUS, is that it? This one's got about 15 days to cover, Genius Brands. And again, probably not a lot of these penny stocks going to be moving big this week. Everybody seems to be looking at the higher dollar, quote, quote, safety stocks like Apple or Microsoft or the rest. But don't see a lot going on in here. You're up a little bit, but again, these things are massively shorted. What would probably more interest me now are some of the what they used to call fallen angels, BRY, right? As Warby. This one actually starts to interest me. This one, as I said, 15 days to cover, also 34% short. Warby Parker, they are a big deal for glasses. And I don't know, I'm sure this thing's way off the highs. Let's go back and look at it. So it's printing in the $17, $16 area, but off $60 from the November 12th, 2021 high. So quite a discount. I don't know how much this company is worth, and I'm not so worried about that. I'm more interested in this thing going sideways with light volume and monstrous short selling capability, or short sellers in it. You're down a little bit with about half the volume of Friday. That's something to keep an eye on. 877-927-6648. Email me at path@TFN. Pete Soundon, he did it with a who, didn't he? Thought he said that. Yeah. Okay, what else is out here that gets me interested? One that also may be finding some kind of low is Logitech. They were a darling of the lockdown because everybody was buying webcams and mice and computers and all that kind of stuff. We're a little less than 50% off the price at the highs at $138.79. That's the June 9th high. But 11 and a half days to cover on this one. You're back into the previous high of May 17th. That's had 1.5 million shares. Now this one, 400,000 shares today. So you're back up there again. Two things. One, you wouldn't ever be caught dead being short with 11 or 12 days to cover unless you want to give a lot of money to the market. If I can see this, other people can see it too. And they may pick this one. They may pick another one for a short squeeze. But with AMC and some of the other Robinhood stocks of the past, yeah, does it have to double? No. It can go up 50% and still run today. We'll be back in a minute.
Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
Technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Somebody in the den brought up Obi-Wan Kenobi. He said he liked it. Well, I'm glad there's one person that did. Universal hate for probably one of the worst spin-offs of all time from the Star Wars franchise. I have to say that other than the lead actor, I don't know where they went and found these folks, but it's got to be some of the worst acting I've ever seen. Just yelling and screaming doesn't mean that you're a good and fleshed out evil person. I don't know. I watched it with some folks on Friday night, the first two episodes, and everybody kind of turned to each other and went, But, I like the lead actor ever since he came out in Trainspotting. It was a great movie. He's been in a lot of good movies still. But other than him, I don't know. I don't think they could act a way out of a paper bag. Walt Disney up a little bit on Friday with the rest of the market today, just out there doing stuff. Everybody keeps on bringing up it's a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap. Okay. So that's it. Did see Top Gun and set between a retired F-16 pilot and an F-14 pilot. So we got to, after we got done and went out, that was Wednesday night. Got to hear the inside skinny on what they liked and disliked on the movie. I thought it was about a 7 out of 10, which is probably pretty good these days since we don't have a lot of movies that are really that great anymore. And maybe a 7 out of 10 is just good enough. Anyway, when I thought about Disney and Netflix and some of these others, but I think it's just too much content and too much really average content. It's starting to make me feel like I'm eating at Disney, or not at Disney, eating at McDonald's every single day. And that is, you're not going to get anything great. You know what you're going to get, but it's not going to be anything great. Maybe you'll feel full for a little while, but that's it. Anyway, let's look at Netflix too. See if anything else is going on there. You got a little bit of a bounce out here. Again, I wouldn't. Netflix is probably the worst pattern of all three because it's got two gigantic gaps, and you're probably going to get a third before you find a low in there. Question about Paramount. Well, I think Paramount is Top Gun, but I'm just wondering if they have any movies to follow it up, or if that's just it, because I think almost all the movies that were going to theaters got canceled that weren't in production before the pandemic. So I don't know what happens to AMC and the rest of these guys if you just have what is really the kind of the spin-offs and toss-aways from the streaming services. No, I did not. I don't think it was in IMAX. It looked good. I don't think it was in IMAX, but it was okay. Oh, yeah, I know it is in IMAX. I didn't see it in IMAX theater. Yeah, it was, I'm going to say Top Gun 7 out of 10, but since every movie I saw at best was a 5 out of 10, probably in the last couple of years in the theaters, I'm thinking it. Oh, boy, yeah. Leia, Leia in that in Obi-Wan Kenobi reminds me of what's the guy's name? I'm thinking of it now. Anyway, he would say he knows why lions eat their young. Rodney Dangerfield, that was it. But just an annoying brat of a kid. I didn't see a lot of character development other than I'm the biggest brat there is. And if everybody just keeps on going, Reva, 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 a one-dimensional, a very one-dimensional, not a protagonist. What are they when they're just the evil person? Yeah, I'll think of it. I mean, I think of really, really good evil people. I think about the Nazi at the very beginning of Inglourious Bastards, or the Eurotrash terrorists in, what's that Bruce Willis movie, Die Hard? I mean, those were some really guys that you could learn to hate, and you knew why you hated them, other than they were just evil and that was it. But 2 episodes in, and all I got was, oh, well, we're supposed to hate this gal who can't act, along with the child who can't act, along with a bunch of other people who can't act, with one guy that actually is carrying the entire show. So I was unhappy with my 2 episodes. Let's see what else we have besides being a movie reviewer. But it has to do with the market. Okay. Okay, let's go back here. Look at a few others. We looked at that. Let's update this here. Okay. Wow, we must have had something going on here while I was off on a rant. Down 21 on the S&P cash here. So off a little bit, but we shall see. Okay, other questions. We looked at AMD a little bit. Let's take a look at NVIDIA in that sector. Again, this is kind of just the bounce into these gap downs where everything was problematic over the last few weeks. On the 9th for NVIDIA, you were down on 64 million shares. You got above that on 73 million shares, which is better. And then you are about 45 million shares today. But it looks to me like, even on fund buying, this may be able to stumble up to 200. But again, that's like 5%. And I think a lot of risk right now without a lot of reward on a great deal of these. Okay. Question about Snowflake. I think that they were out pressing the flesh today on CNBC. At least I was reading the list of stocks that those guys were talking about today, and they were on it. You got a high volume low, and I don't see how you untest go fully that much forward until you test that May 26 low. 112.10. Want to get into that with lighter volume, and it may take the rest of the week to get out. 877-927-6628.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And as we come back, have a question in the den, which I think is for me, but I don't know. But I will answer it just the same. I guess not. But it's probably a good question to ask. And that is days to cover. And one of the things that you want to do is figure out how wide the doors are, open and closed. A short squeeze is much like screaming fire in a crowded theater. So you can go to a lot of different sites. Yahoo has it. They'll have the bi-monthly data there, which is always, you've got to remember, is probably around 2 weeks or longer the last time they did it. But the exchanges do go and get this data twice a month. Then at least 10 days, if not 14 days after that happens, it's published. If you pay $3,500 a month, you get it on day 10. If you go to Yahoo, I think it's 13th or 14th day after that period closes. So these are for May 13th. When you look at that, what you're really looking for is the average volume and the amount of shares that are short. In this case, for what is this? Microsoft, 38 million shares short. Then you go ahead and look at the average volume, which is up here at the top. So the 10-day volume is 30 million shares. The shares short, 38 million shares. You can just do it kind of roughly. It's going to be a little over a day, maybe 1.5 days. Again, I really don't get too excited until you get into about 5 days to cover. That is where you start seeing the big short squeezes happen. Sell when you can, or cover where you can, especially if you're in a highly short stock. Meantime, see you tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible